Hey everyone, welcome back. Hope you guys are having a great Tuesday today, and we have some news to go over. We got quite a bit of news to go over. First, we're going to go over SEC, obviously what's going on with Coinbase really quick. We're also going to take a look at what SEC Gary Gensler has said, and we're also going to take a look at Marathon, provided some news today about some private placement of stock. Then we got Argo providing their Q1 production or Q1 results. We'll take a look at that. We also have Bit Digital, and then we also have Iris Energy providing May production updates as well. So we got a lot to go through. I'll include the chapters on below so you guys can skip to the parts that you want to see really quick. And then I'll make these, some of these videos clips as well for later on in the week. So you guys can take a look at those if you like. Okay, so let's get into the markets here. But first, you guys know the drill here. This is not financial advice for entertainment only. Do your own research. I'm going to invest in following coins and companies for full disclosure. And let's take a look at what we have here in the markets right now. Also, if you enjoy this type of content, hit the like button, subscribe. It helps me out. Let's go. All right, so here's what's going on with the markets, or at least Bitcoin right now. Markets were up today as well, was Bitcoin and Ethereum. But markets were up, S&P was up 2.4%, Dow Jones was up 0.03%, NASDAQ was up pretty good, 1.98%. Bitcoin, on the other hand, pretty much rebounded from where it was yesterday and gained a little bit on top of that. So it was up today 5.84%. It closed at 27,243. And we're actually down a little bit here right now on the day. We're down just a little bit here, about 0.3%, down $83 or so right now. I still think we're going to be going down. I think this is just a bounce that we had here on the news with SEC. I think the community was just basically giving a middle finger to the SEC with the news of them suing Coinbase. But the way things are looking right now on the charts, on the RSI and things like that, I still think we're going to be going down, possibly to the 23,800 mark. Let me know if you guys agree or disagree in the comments down below. But here's what we have right now. So on the daily, we can see that the RSI is around 49. Last time was back here, it was actually about the same price range. So not much change there from that one. If we look at the 4-hour chart as well, we can see that the RSI definitely went way up higher here. And if we look at it here, 61 is the RSI right now. Actually, it's 59. If we follow that line over, we can see that the RSI is higher than where the price was before, actually lower here a little bit. So that still makes me think that we're going to be going down. And if we look further back on the RSI where it was around here, it was right around here. Price at that point was higher. If we go further back, we can see that the price was also higher at that point. So we're still having a downward trend on it. 1 hour, same thing. RSI is overbought right now. We are at approximately 72. Last time we were back here was right over here. Price was up definitely much higher at that point. So things are still looking in a downward direction. Until we get a reversal on this, I think we're going down to at least probably the 23,800 mark, if not lower than that. Okay, but this is just a bounce that we had today on the news, and the community just reacted to it. Okay, so that's Bitcoin there. Ethereum as well. Let's take a look at that one really quick. Ethereum definitely bounced today as well. Did it bounce didn't bounce quite as good as Bitcoin did. It bounced 4.07% on the day today, closed at 1,884. It is down a little bit now, right now, about down 0.17%, down $3 or something like that, not major. We can see that the RSI on that one is at right now 53. Last time it was right around here. Price was actually a little bit higher at that. So like I keep saying, I think we're going to be going down. Let me know if you guys agree or not. Now, as far as the miners had a pretty good day. Obviously, with Bitcoin going up, the miners did pretty good today. ANY was up today. Let's see here. Get rid of those. ANY was up today quite nicely as well. It was up 2%. Argo was up 3.25%. Bit Digital was up 7.19% on the day. Bitfarms was up 4.46%. Cypher was up 1.28%. CleanSpark was up 4.59%. Cores was up 5.06%. DigiHost was up 0.69%. DMG was up 8.64%. Greenidge was up 2.49%. Hive was up 2.58%. Hut was up 0.97%. Iris Energy was up 8.23%. Really good day for them. Marathon was also up nicely today, 9.68%. Lawson was up 5.32%. Riot was up 2.06%. Soluna was actually down 6.06% today. Stronghold was down 2.25%. And TerraWolf was up 4.2% today. So overall, the miners had a pretty good day, along with the markets here. And if we look at the network hash rate really quick as well, we can see here that we are now down to approximately 363 million on the 7-day average, and then the 1-day average, if we look at it, we can see that that has come back up a little bit here as well to 384 million right now. Okay, we'll keep an eye on that, see where that goes in the coming days. So let's get into our stories that we do have here. The first one is going to be on SEC suing Coinbase. So SEC sues Coinbase over exchange and staking programs. Stock drops 12%. You guys can really get into this if you want to read the articles and everything else. I'm just going to cover the main topics here, give you my thoughts on it. So the SEC sued Coinbase on Tuesday, alleging that the company was operating as an unregistered exchange and broker, and that 13 assets listed on its platform were considered crypto asset securities. The regulator asked that the exchange be permanently restrained and rejoined from doing so. The suit comes just one day after the SEC sued Binance and its founder, CZ. So with SEC on this one, this is kind of like regulation by, not legislation, but litigation. Right? They're suing them because they're not following the rules, but yet they don't want to provide the proper rules for them to follow. So it's kind of one of those chicken or egg things. Which comes first? Obviously, we believe that the SEC or Congress has to provide the rules for all of these platforms to abide by. Without having clear rules on this, it's just going to be a crap show, basically, on it until we finally do get some proper regulations that give us the rules of the road, what these exchanges can and can't do. And the funny thing is, obviously, with Coinbase being publicly listed, they were obviously vetted by the SEC. They were given the green light to go public. They went public, and now they're saying that they're in violation of some of these things. So this is just crazy to me. So this is obviously going to go into court, hopefully with Coinbase having enough cash and everything else and a good legal team. They might be able to get SEC off their backs and possibly force the SEC to actually come up with proper rules and regulations for Congress to adopt into law, possibly. We'll see if that happens, okay? But it's something we're going to have to keep an eye on. Next is going to be on the SEC Chair Gensler. So this is what he said. The U.S. doesn't need cryptocurrency. Gary Gensler said what he really thinks about how cryptocurrencies exchange operate in the States. And then obviously shortly after the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission filed its lawsuit against Coinbase on Tuesday, SEC Chairman Gary Gensler said that the crypto industry's entire business model is built on non-compliance. Okay, it's built on non-compliance because you're not providing the compliance. So how are they supposed to comply with something that's not there? Right? It's kind of stupid. In a damning CNBC interview, top American securities regulator said, "We don't need more digital currencies." Well, maybe he doesn't need any more digital currencies, but who says that we don't want more digital currencies? So that's kind of back and forth there. He said that crypto exchanges are commingling a number of functions which wouldn't be acceptable in traditional finance, giving the hypothetical example of the New York Stock Exchange also operating a hedge fund. I'm sure they would love to do that if they could, but there's obviously a framework for them to be abiding by. Also, he said, we already have digital currency, he added. It's called the US dollar, it's called euro, it's called the yen. That's all digital now. Well, no, the US dollar is not digital yet. We still don't have a CBDC, and I think a lot of states are also banning the use of CBDCs. So I don't know where that's going to go along in the long run. But why not make it competitive? Free open market. You have the US dollar, you have Bitcoin. You decide which one you want to use, which one is better for you, right? If the US dollar becomes a better value or a store of value hold for the long term, well, then people will be buying the US dollar. But in the meantime, Bitcoin is obviously a better store of value in the long run, at least historically now. We'll see how it goes in the future. But we should be able to decide, not regulators. And I'm starting to think that the SEC should actually stand for constant, what was the name that I came up with? There was a acronym for it. Jeez, I can't remember now. Such endless corruption. Oh, there we go. Such endless corruption. SEC, such endless corruption. That's what I came up with. It's like reading all this stuff, the stupid things that they are doing and not providing the proper regulations, the proper guidance, and things like that. It's just like such endless corruption in there. Their only interest is to back and support the US dollar, nothing else. So they don't have the interest in mind of regular people, of constituents and things like that. It's just holding on to power as long as they can. Okay, so that's that one there. Let me know what you guys think of this one. And then SEC asks for emergency order to freeze Binance U.S. assets anywhere in the world. So the SEC asked a Washington, D.C. federal judge to freeze the assets of Binance U.S. subsidiary, alleging that the company and its founder, CZ, held a disregard for U.S. law. The emergency order was filed late Tuesday night and would also force the repatriation of fiat currency and crypto assets deposited, held, traded, and or accrued by customers on the Binance U.S. crypto asset trading platform. We'll see where this goes. I think they're going to obviously challenge this, or at least Binance is going to challenge this. But we'll see. Or it could be one of those things where they just close up shop in the U.S. and do their things abroad. Okay, it's another one of those things that we'll have to wait quite a while for this to work itself out. But just wanted to point that out to you guys. Okay, so that's it for that one. Next is going to be Marathon Digital Holdings. They announced a 14.25 million private placement. So today announced that it has entered into a securities purchase agreement for the purchase of 15,000 shares of Series A redeemable convertible preferred stock in a private placement. Each of those shares, one of those shares is down here. The Series A preferred stock permits the holders thereof to vote together with the holders of the company's common stock on a proposal to increase the authorized shares of the company's common stock at an annual or special meeting of the company's stockholders. The Series A preferred stock permits the holders to cast 500,000 votes per share of Series A preferred stock on such proposal. This is basically them. I'm interpreting this. Maybe I'm interpreting this the wrong way, but this is the way I'm interpreting it. It's basically Marathon giving a middle finger to shareholders, because those that are going to get the shares, the 15,000 shares, are going to basically outvote. It's going to be like a green stamp for whatever they want to do with company shares going forward, increase them or whatnot. Okay, so that's kind of the way I see it. Let me know if you guys see it differently, or if I'm missing something on this one. But I just wanted to point that out to you guys as well. And obviously the stock did pretty good today, so this didn't affect anybody there. Okay. Next, we'll get into here is going to be Argo. Argo Blockchain announces Q1 2023 results. I didn't think they were going to do this, actually. I thought they were going to wait until Q2 and then provide their biannual report that they normally do. But they've actually provided it, so I'm happy that they did. So here's what we have on them. Q1 2023 financial results. The company ended the quarter with 14.2 million of cash on its balance sheet, along with 85 Bitcoin or Bitcoin equivalents. In its HODL, revenue of 11.4 million, an increase of 15% compared to Q4. So that's good there. Net loss of 8.7 million, adjusted EBITDA of 1.6 million. Total BTC mined in the quarter was 491, or approximately 5.3 BTC per day. Mining margin percentage for the quarter was 49%, and an increase from 35% mining margin back in Q4 of 2022. So that's actually really good there. Reduced operating costs and expenses by 70% compared to the quarterly average in the second half of 2022. That's also really good there. That's good that they're definitely cutting costs. And then they reduced finance costs by 63% compared to the quarterly average in the second half of 2022. So that's also good there. Going down here, during the first quarter, Argo also successfully transitioned the Helios facility to Galaxy Digital. In addition, the average all-in price of power and hosting was lower than the previous guidance of 5 to 5.5 cents per kilowatt hour for the quarter, so that's also good there. Moving forward, Argo expects to receive and install block miners, those are the ASIC miners, machines later this year at its Quebec facilities. This is expected to increase the company's total hash rate to approximately 2.8 exahash, so that would be an additional 300 petahash that they would get. They're at 2.5 right now. I believe they're at 2.5. I think they are. Okay, so let's take a look at the numbers that we do have for them down here. Argo has 47 million shares outstanding. Stock price is $1.27 right now. Market cap is at 16 million. And you can see here that they have had lackluster performance here in the last 12 weeks up top. Current hash rate, 2.5 exahash. So I was correct on that. I was going off memory, so that is correct. And that will probably get into 2.8. So we probably should include that 300 petahash that's going to be getting added in later on this year. Going down here, we've talked about their performance. We're still waiting for a May update from them. We'll see where they come in on that. Hash rate and revenue. So going down here. Last 4 quarters revenue, it's actually it's kind of like last 2 biannuals and the current quarter that we have. So Q1 and Q2, they had 26.7 million. Q3 and Q4, total 20.6 million. The current quarter that we're in is estimated to be about 11.9 million for that one. And I'm still missing, actually, we probably should go back up to over here, which would be, well, the reported March quarter. So that's this one here. 11.9 is that one. So we do have 11.4 million based on the 11.4 million. That is at least a little bit more than half of this here. So they had an improvement there. Okay. Last 4 quarters operating costs, we got 18.7 million in Q1 and Q2 combined. Q3 and Q4 was 19.4. Q1 was 5.8 million currently. So that is about a little bit less than half here. So that's also good there. Other metrics that we do have here, Q1 and Q2 was about 14.9 thousand for Bitcoin mined. Q3 and Q4 was 15.9. And then Q1 actually came down to 11.8. So that's actually really good there. But however, you can see the Bitcoin mined quarterly has come down here. If you take the half of the Q3 and Q4 numbers, they were about, what is that, going to be 609 Bitcoin on average per quarter. They're definitely below that right now in Q1. However, Bitcoin price going up in value has helped them out. Debt to equity, also, we want lower is better. This has skyrocketed here in Q1 to 17, so that's not good. Current ratio also went down to 0.98, which isn't bad, but still under 1. We'd like to see that above 1. Okay. Total current assets has also come down here a little bit to 21.9 from 22 at the end of Q4. And then total current liabilities has increased a little bit here to 22.1 in Q1 from 20.134 at the end of Q4. Okay, not too bad there either. Going down here, we can see what they actually have as far as numbers here. So we're going to see if we can get this figured out. Trade receivables is up actually to 7.6, so that's good. Digital assets is down to 20,000, looks like. Cash and cash equivalents is down a little bit here to 14 from 16. Not a big difference there. Investments and fair value through income and loss was actually up a little bit here to 417,000. Investment accounted for was up to 2.9 from 2.3. Intangible fixed assets was up to 2.1 from 1.7. Property and plant equipment was up to 71 from 63. And then right of use assets was up 525,000 from 435. So total current assets was actually down here to 21.96 from 22.67. But total non-current assets was up to 77 from 68.7. So that's good there. And total assets actually went up to 99 million compared to 91.4 million. So that's good there. Let's take a look at current liabilities. Current liabilities have come down here to 7.5 million from 8.3, so that's good. Contingent or loans and borrowings actually went up to 12.5 roughly from 9.6. Deferred tax is about down by about what, 31,000 or so. Not bad there. Total current liabilities is at 22 million compared to 20 million, so that is a little bit of an increase there. And then let's see here. Deferred tax went up to 8.13 from 6.5. Issued debt bond is at 37.8 from 31 million. Loans and borrowings was at 24 million instead of 21, so that's not good. And then lease liabilities up a little bit here to 540,000 from 448. So total liabilities went up to 93 million compared to 80 million. So definitely an increase there on liability side of things. Shareholder equity, you guys can take a look at that, but the total stockholder equity was 5.4 million here compared to 11.4, so that's down. Total liabilities and stockholder equity was up a little bit here to 99 from 91. So that's a little bit better there. Revenue-wise, so revenue was hard to figure out for, well, basically Q3 because they provided the biannual at the end of Q4. They came in at 20.6 million. They're at 11.4. So given half of that would be 10,300 some thousand. This is actually above that, so that's good there. Self-mining, let's see here. We talked about that. Direct cost was actually down as well. Half of that would have been about 9.7 million or so. They're at 5.7, so that's good there. The direct costs have come down. Depreciation of mining, haven't seen that in a while here, but it's here now at 6 million negative. And then what else we have? A change in fair value of digital currencies is down as well to 79 from, well, up actually 70, yeah, just 79 here instead of 43. So that's good there. That's come down. So gross profit loss would have been 556,000 on it. Direct costs, we talked about that one already. Restructuring, that's something new. That's 806,000 there. Operating costs and expenses was also down to 4.054 million. Roughly, operating loss was negative 5 million compared to the negative 28 million. So that's good there. You can look at the other ones here. Operating expenses, the only thing that they had other ones was the finance cost of 3.3 million here. That's down from the 18.3 million here in Q4, at the end of Q4, or 14.8 at the end of Q4. So that's good there. And operating income loss was negative 8.7 million compared to a negative, what is that, 194 million loss on that one. So that's definitely an improvement there. Net income loss before taxes was 8.7 million compared to 194 million there. So that's good. They are on the right track, I think, getting themselves turned around a little bit. Still would like to see them grow a little bit more, but obviously they got to get everything else under control first. And then we'll see what they do later on in the second half of the year. Okay. Loss per share was negative 1.8. So that's good there compared to the $40 or whatever they had back here on that one. Okay. All in all, with that being said, they are doing the right things, going in the right direction. Their lackluster growth going forward with only additional 300 petahash forward is not that impressive. So we have a PE of 5. I'm looking to be about $2.58. They're at $1.27 right now. So I think they're still undervalued based on my numbers here. Right now they're trading basically at a PE of what, approximately 2.5 or so, right between there. Yeah, 2.5 right now. So I do think they are a little bit undervalued. I think once Bitcoin starts going back up, they will perform a little bit better, and so will the other miners, but we'll see. Okay, so let me know what you guys think of Argo, and then let's get into the next one. So the next one is going to be on Bit Digital. They announced their monthly production update for May as well. So here's what we have. In May 2023, the company produced 113.2 BTC, a 31% increase compared to the prior year. They're also stating the transaction fees here had a pretty large impact in here. And the company, let's see, company's active hash rate was approximately 1.2 exahash as of that date. Treasury holdings of BTC and Ethereum were about 453.6 and 10,996 of Ethereum. During the month, BitDigital transferred 129 BTC to its strategic partner, Argo Global Limited, as a collateral for yield optimization strategies connected to 430 BTC that Argo is conducting on behalf of BitDigital. Okay, we'll see how that works out for them. That'd be a little, hopefully they do well for them. Let's see what else we have here. During the month of May 2023, the company finalized agreements to purchase 6,600 new mining units with a total maximum hash rate of approximately 680 petahash. These figures do not include the company's operations in Iceland, in which the company extended credit to its partners for the purchase of 2,500 mining units to operate on the company's behalf. So these are new things here, so those are all good things. We'll take a look at what that actually means for us, and that's it for that part here. So let's take a look at Bit Digital here. Bit Digital is right there. Let's go up top. BitDigital has 82.5 million shares outstanding. Market cap is at 245 million right now. Pretty good market cap compared to where they are. Their performance for the last 12 weeks has been actually really good here. You can see from 12 weeks ago, they're up 141%. 8 weeks are up 56%. 4 weeks are up 55%. And then 1 week they're up 10.83%. So they're actually doing pretty good here as far as stock performance is concerned. HODL's at 453, valued at about 12.4 million. BTC production, you can see, has been coming down here, but it had a nice spike in May, obviously, with the impact of the network hash rate fees. Have helped a lot on that one. Monthly BTC mine difference, you can see how they perform from month to month. BTC per exahash efficiency, really good here, 95.13. I think this is going to be probably one of the best ones that we've seen here so far that have reported. And then BTC HODL, you can see that their HODL position has been coming down here, and I think that's basically because they're putting that money into that Aros company there. That's why it's coming down. BTC sold was a 213, but part of that was the 112, I think, that went to Aros as well. So that's kind of screwing my numbers up a little bit here as well. Hash rate, you can see that the hash rate is about, they said 1.2. I have them at 1.19 right now. I got rid of all the old miners. We'll take a look at that down below, but that's pretty close to where they are. Monthly Bitcoin revenue, you can see that that's kind of up and down as well. This is still the 3.13 that I'm calculating here for May. Is not their best. Their best was actually in August of last year at 3.25 million. Monthly hash rate difference, you can see that their hash rate has been coming down as they're getting rid of some of the older miners, it looks like. And then BTC sold value, this is kind of inaccurate, I think, because they are putting BTC into that Aros investment. Part of it, last 4 quarters revenue, you guys can take a look at that, other metrics as well. As far as institutions are concerned, institutions did increase to 68 here from 63, so that's good. Their shares also increased to 15 million from 14 million, so that's good. Percentage went up to 18 from 17% as well, and we still have only 1 buy rating for them, with the price target now increased to $3.80 for the high, $3.40 for the average, and $3 for the low. So low is the same, but the average and the high actually increased, so that's good there. Now, looking at as far as what they generated this current month or May, I have them at 3.1 million, it looks like, for May with 113 BTC, with the Bitcoin price being averaged out for May. And here's what has happened with the miners here. So you can see that miners have been coming off these 59 terahash, 19, obviously you don't want to run those. The 63 terahash miners as well. And then these 88 terahash miners, I'm possibly going to be getting rid of those as well. And I've added in the unknown miners that they're purchasing, the 6,600. For the 680 petahash, the 2,500. I'm guessing they're going to be 103 terahash. I'm not sure. They didn't provide that, so that's kind of where I'm getting them to. So total hash rate for them is going to be 2.127. And they are currently at 1.2 roughly. So they do have about another 100% growth left in them, 90%, something like that. And for the month of May, I added 511,000 additional revenue from the transaction fees of Bitcoin that were really high in the past month. For a couple of days. That added to them an extra 16.42%, so I think that's the best that we've seen so far as well for the miners that have reported for May so far. Now, with the miners coming off, I took out the 63 terahash miners, added these in here. These were already in here, so those are good. So eventually I will just probably hide these columns here with the older miners just to make it a little bit more compact. And we'll see what they actually report as far as going forward, because they're probably right. And I agree with them. The 63 terahash miners, probably get rid of those if they haven't sold those already. Discount them off and be done with them. Okay. Let's see what else we have here. So we covered that. Based on all the information that we do have here so far, we can look up here and see that they're currently at, well, current quarter is going to be about 8.1 million. That's estimated. Last 3 quarters should be reported. We're still waiting on, well, Q1 here for March. So we got the last 2 quarters, which would have been Q3 and Q4. Actual numbers, Q1 is an estimate still, and then Q2 is an estimate as well for them. So we have them at the last 3 quarters, 25 million combined. We're looking at 33.2 million, PE of 10. They do have some growth left in them. Like I said, we could probably raise them up to about the 15 PE. Analysts got them at $3.80. They'll get them to a PE of what? Probably 20, close to that. Yeah, a PE of 20. So that's pretty high there for the growth. They do have some growth left. I'd give them a PE of 15, really. So we're looking at $3.02 to $4.54. Depending where we get Bitcoin going up in value. They're currently at $2.98. I think they're pretty fairly valued, slightly undervalued a little bit. They've had a nice run up here in the last 12 weeks, so we'll see how they do going forward. But if we get them up to the 20 PE, then yeah, they're definitely undervalued here, as the analysts have said here. So I may agree with that. Let me know what you guys think on this. Okay, big thing for them, obviously, get miners installed, get more miners installed, get more miners installed. They're kind of like Marathon a little bit. I don't think they have any of their own infrastructure. I think most of it is hosted out. I would have to look back at that information though. Don't quote me on that. Okay, so that's it for that one. That was pretty quick. Let's take a look at the last one that we have here, which is Iris Energy. And Iris Energy monthly investor update for May. And here's what we do have for them. Average operating hash rate was 5.5 exahash, so they're pretty much fully installed right now. Bitcoin mine was 508. This is a huge increase for them. Mining revenue of 13.5 million, electricity cost of 6 million. So electricity cost per Bitcoin is about 11.9 million, or sorry, 11.9 thousand on that one. And here's what we have down here. I think there's something else that I wanted to point out to you guys. Yep, here it is. For the share acquisition by the director, the company advises that between May 5th and June 7th, an entity affiliated with Mr. Michael Alfred, a director of the company's board of directors, acquired an additional 195,000 ordinary shares in the company for total consideration of approximately 705,715. The relevant entity has acquired 750,461 ordinary shares in the company in an aggregate since March 13th for total consideration of approximately 2.5 million on it. So somebody definitely believes in them. They're going to do well going forward. And the rest we've covered in the past here as far as what their updates are, build outs and things like that, community engagement, and things like that. Okay, let's take a look at the numbers that I do have for them, and we'll call it a day. So Iris Energy right now has 54.9 million shares outstanding, roughly. Market cap is 188 million. I do think that they're undervalued for where they are right now with the hash rate. The only thing is future growth is going to be limited a little bit here, but they could grow beyond that if they actually provide information on it. So we'll see. You can see that their performance here has been also lackluster. Here for the last 12 weeks, they're only up 17.4% from 12 weeks ago. If you got in at 8 weeks, they're down 22%. 4 weeks, they're down 5.1%. And then last week, they're up actually 0.86%. So it hasn't been all that great. And let's see here. What do we got here? BTC. So you can see here that after they had to give back a lot of the miners back in October or November, they were at 448 BTC per month in October. Then they dropped down to 151, 123 in December. Then they've been slowly getting back up with growing their hash rate. So they're now back up to 508, which is good to see. So they're back above their previous high, which is good. And then you can see their monthly difference of Bitcoins being mined from month to month. BTC exahash efficiency has also increased here nicely to 92.21. So that's good there. They don't hodl anything. They sell pretty much everything. They sold 508 this time around. Hash rate. Hash rate, as you can see here, went way down here in November. Then it started to go back up here ever since then. They started getting more miners in and installed. The build out was happening. And then they had a huge increase here to basically 5.51 exahash installed here. So they installed a lot here. They installed 3.5 exahash in April, which was really good. Now they're kind of a little bit flatlined, and we'll see how the growth continues going forward. So Bitcoin revenue in October, they generated 8.8, where they had 500 or 448 Bitcoin. This time around, they have 508 Bitcoin, and they generated a heck of a lot more. So definitely that's nice to see that they broke their previous high here. BTC hash difference, so you can see how they increased that. BTC sold value, they sold pretty much the inverse of whatever they got in. Last 4 quarters and everything else, you guys can take a look at that at your own leisure. I've talked about this in the past when we do the quarterly results. And then as far as institutions, this is also nice to see here. Institutions did increase, however, shares went down to 11.4 from 11.7. Percentage owned also went down to 20.7 from 21. We still have 2 strong buy ratings, 3 buy ratings, and we only have now 1 hold rating instead of 2. And then price actually went up to $13 for the high. It was $11 previously. The average went up to $8.17, and the low went up to $5. So that's good there also. Okay. Now, as far as what they were mining for the month of May here, let's take a look at it here. Had them mining pretty much for the full month of May for everything that they have installed at the 5.5 exahash. And they generated about 11.48% more in revenue based on the Bitcoin transaction fees. So they got an extra 1.6 million additional to them. That's still really good there. Okay, so that's kind of what we're looking at as far as the revenue for the month of May. Based on that, let's see here, we're still waiting on them to provide numbers for Q1. So the last 3 quarters are actually 2 official, 1 estimated, and then obviously the current quarter is an estimate as well. For a combined total of 76 million here, 50% net income, we're looking at a P of 15, $10.37, and 75%, we're looking at $15.55. Analysts have them at $13 at the high end. So that's kind of right around there. So we're kind of in between that a little bit here. So definitely way undervalued here, $3.42 compared to where they should be. But let me know what you guys think, okay? I think with them giving back the machines here back, where was it? Back here in November, their special purpose vehicle investment things that they had for the miners, defaulting on those, they gave those back. I think maybe investors are a little skittish to get into them, I think. Maybe that's the reason why the stock is being held back a little bit here. But they're definitely doing all the right things, in my opinion. Let me know if you guys agree or disagree. And that is it for them. All right. So as always, these spreadsheets are going to be available to my Patreon members. Thank you to everyone there for their continued support. Thank you to you guys for watching. Appreciate it greatly. And I'll get these screenshots out to the YouTube members as well. Hopefully tomorrow. It's getting pretty late today already. By the time this goes out, it'll probably be around 10 o'clock. So thank you everyone for watching. If you enjoyed it, hit the like button, subscribe. Helps me out tremendously. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.